Hamas has officially responded to President Trump's 20-point ceasefire plan. While the group accepted some key elements, it flatly rejected others, leaving the future of peace in Gaza hanging in the balance. What exactly did Hamas agree to? What did it refuse? And what does this mean for Israel, the US, and the wider Middle East? Let's unpack the details. To understand Hamas's reaction, let's quickly recap Trump's 20-point proposal. It called for an immediate ceasefire, the release of Israeli hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners, a new technocratic Palestinian administration to govern Gaza, and most controversially, the disarmament of Hamas, removing its military capabilities. Trump gave Hamas a deadline to respond, warning of consequences if they refused. On October 3rd, Hamas handed over its response to mediators. Here's what they accepted. They agreed to the hostage exchange formula, signaling readiness to negotiate a prisoner swap. They also said they are willing to hand over Gaza's administration to a technocratic Palestinian body, distancing themselves from direct political control. And importantly, they welcomed international and regional efforts to end the war, showing they are not rejecting peace talks. But Hamas also drew several red lines. They refused disarmament, calling it unacceptable. Their armed wing, the Qassam Brigades, is central to their identity and leverage. And honestly, nobody ever expected them to accept disarmament. Hamas sees itself as the armed resistance. Without weapons, it loses the very thing that defines it. Security calculations. From Hamas's perspective, disarming would leave Gaza defenseless in the face of Israel's overwhelming military power. Negotiating leverage. Weapons are Hamas's bargaining chip. Without them, they'd have almost no influence at the table. So while Trump's demand sounds like a straightforward path to peace, in reality it was more of a negotiating tactic than a serious expectation. Hamas insisted that decisions about Gaza's future, governance, security, reconstruction, must be made within a comprehensive Palestinian national framework, not dictated by outside powers. And they stressed that many of Trump's points require further negotiation, a diplomatic way of saying they won't agree as written. So what does this mean? Hamas's cautious yes but no response puts Trump in a tough spot: enforce consequences or keep negotiating. This partial acceptance could spark ripple effects. Qatar and Egypt, key mediators, will likely push hard to keep talks alive. In the end, Hamas's response is not a yes, not a no, but a maybe. They've left the door open for negotiations while protecting their core military strength. That means the ceasefire is far from guaranteed. The question now: will Trump escalate pressure? Will Netanyahu act on his threats? Or will diplomacy somehow hold this fragile process together? This is World Power Projection, WPP. If you want more in-depth analysis of global strategy and military power, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And tell me in the comments, do you think Hamas will ever agree to Trump's terms? Or is another round of conflict inevitable?